Hello, and happy Black Friday week. I'm not a huge Black Friday person, but I do love to use this time of year to shop for new tools and resources that are going to improve my business for the year ahead. And one of my favorite places to do that is AppSumo. I've been using AppSumo for years. I've talked about them before on this channel, but I have found so many amazing apps and tools and resources that I'm still using for my business today that I found years ago. A lot of times on AppSumo, they have lifetime deals. So it's just like a really cool and fun place to shop at this time of year or anytime. I'm going to leave their link down below if you'd like to check out what they've got going on for Black Friday week. And today I want to share with you 3 of the deals that are new to AppSumo for this time of year that I have been using in my business for a while now. And they are really helping with the content creation process in particular, everything from repurposing content to actually recording content and remote interviews, and even planning out my content calendar. So let's hop in, check out the link below, and thanks so much to AppSumo for sponsoring today's video. All right, so let's talk about creating the content. I love Wave Video for a lot of things. The primary use cases that I use it for are live streams, particularly into the Freelance Friday Club, my membership group. And then I also love using it for podcast interviews, remote podcast interviews. So, first, let's go over here to streams and recordings. So, you can do a few different things. Obviously, you can set up a live stream and basically pre schedule a stream to go out. This is what I do when I have a Freelance Friday Club workshop. You can also do webinars. I'll show you what this looks like. You can choose the folder that it's going to go into when it's recorded. And then you can also do 2 things that I really, really love. The first one is you can schedule it for later. So I'm not going to live stream right now. Let's say that I'm going to live stream next week. There we go. And then this feature is amazing as well because you can actually allow your guests, your co-hosts, to co-stream it to their destinations if you'd like to. So for example, let's say that I do a webinar with one of my students who also has a YouTube channel. Well, I can allow them to stream this event to their YouTube channel too, essentially doubling our audience together. Kind of like when you go live together on Instagram Live. I think it is a really, really cool feature. So we'll go to set up destinations and we'll do it to the Wave Video webinar room, but we can also choose to go live on YouTube and we'll just authorize it with our page, LinkedIn page, Instagram. You can do a custom kind of setting. So again, I could do this in the Freelance Friday Club if I wanted to, Amazon Live, like so many different things. We'll just create it in the webinar room here and we'll click on Open Studio. I'll leave this stuff as is. I know this is a bit of a weird angle, but we'll just enter the studio. You can, edit all of your stuff, whatever you want. And we'll click on add camera. I'll just do my other camera that I'm not actually recording with. And from here, you can really customize everything, like seriously everything. You can customize your, if we had two speakers, we could have all these different configurations. Of course, we can share our screen. We can upload our slides. So this is one of the social media management toolbox slide decks. So you can see how we can easily pull those up, put them away, hide from stream, show on stream, and just play around with all of these different configurations. I just have the Wave Video background here, but we could totally change the background to, a fun gradient. We can pick something from a backgrounds folder that is already here in Wave, or we can upload our own if we would like to. So super easy that way. We can upload logos, we can upload videos. So if we want to have like a custom trailer or something that plays before our webinar starts, whatever we want to do. And then once we're ready to go live, we can just click on go live. And we're live. If we had invited people, of course, to the webinar, they would be popping in here. We could be talking to them. Oh, of course, I can change my name. We'll make this Latasha James. And then we'll have a live chat happening here. So I could show these live chats on stream as I'm kind of talking, which is really, really fun. So setting up a webinar or a live stream is pretty much identical, but you can also do recordings, which this is what I like to use for podcast interviews. I get asked all the time, how do I do remote podcast interviews? And this is how you do it. So you just click on new recording and we can go ahead and just select advanced live studio just so we can get all of those fun features in here. And it's just going to look very similar, pretty much identical to what we just looked at. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add in our camera, put us on screen. We're going to choose let's say we'll choose this background again. You also have sound effects in here, audio clips, so many things. We'll also edit this is my second camera that's joining. We'll pretend this is our podcast guest. We'll add their name in. And then we can do all of these fun different configurations, depending on what you really like. Something else that's really nice is when you're interviewing people, you can actually pivot. You can hide yourself from stream while you're talking or change one of these layouts. So maybe we start out the interview, both of us on camera like this, but my guest is making like a really excellent point. Well, I'm going to remove myself from the stream so I can have that big image showing of their face and it just looks really good. You could also add in a producer to this room so that they're just permanently off camera, hidden from stream like this, but they have the ability to do all of this, camera switching for me. So I can just focus on interviewing my guest and not on, managing all of the controls. And in this mode, you're in the studio, just like you were for the webinar or the live stream, but you can just start recording and we'll just pretend we'll go ahead and start recording here. Hello, 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 test, test, test. Ooh, I'll show you this too. We'll just paste in some random text here. Well, I can have this teleprompter rolling while I'm recording. We can, of course, adjust the speed and all of that. Do you think being a content creator is a sustainable career path? When did you start pitching to podcast sponsors? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. We're going to end the recording now. End recording. And we'll now go to video. We can then watch the video, make sure it looks good. We can even share this video if we wanted to, maybe send it to our podcast guest ahead of time to check out, or send it to an editor or something like that, whatever we want to do. And of course, we can just download the video file right here. All right, so now that you've got a video, we all probably know by now that repurposing really is key. You want to make sure that you get as much life out of that single video as you possibly can and post to all the different short form platforms and whatnot. So I really love Chopcast. This is a new tool to me and it has really simplified my repurposing process. So you just go up here to new, you paste in your YouTube link, or you can upload an actual file and we can choose if we want to auto generate clips or not. I am going to select that because that's really where a lot of the time is saved with this tool. You can also open up your advanced settings, and if there were any particular words or terms that you wanted this tool to really look out for, you could type those in here. So maybe I want to hear, maybe I talked about Twitter or something like that. So I can type in that term so that it will search for that particular topic. We can also choose which platforms we're really looking to repurpose to. So I'm going to primarily choose, I think, TikTok. We can also choose average clip duration. I want to keep it around 60 seconds and we'll click on done and let it do its thing. So once we've given it a little bit of time to process, we will see all of these suggested clips along the right side here. And as you can see, they've got these virality scores, which obviously the higher the better. This is based on, what's trending on these platforms right now or how maybe exciting the content that I said was. Okay, so I think I really like this clip. It needs just a little bit of refining to really bring it to life. The first thing that I'm going to do though is I'm going to click on resize because I actually want this to go onto TikTok, YouTube Shorts, etc. So we'll select resize 9:16. We'll turn this off here. And then what we can do is we can just click and drag to get the frame where we would like it. So I want to be in the middle, obviously. And here we go. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to change up the font. And I want to make this a little bit smaller. So at any point, there we go. That looks a lot better, right? It's already starting to look better. We can choose how many words per line we want. And we can also click on advanced settings and choose, all of our different color configurations, whether we want text to be bold, whether we want it to have a border, all of that stuff. But I'm pretty happy with how this text looks here. The other thing you'll definitely want to do is just scan through and make sure there are no spelling errors or grammar errors. This is pretty good. It transcribes it pretty well. But of course, like with names or anything like that, sometimes it can mix things up. So if you do see something that is misspelled, you can just click on it. And let's see, we want to add a period to that one because it's the end of a sentence. And then we also might want to trim the video a little bit. So I just double clicked. I didn't want to start it on between. I wanted to start it as being a content creator. So I just removed that from the video. And if you scroll down here, you'll also see your timeline. So you can drag this out further if I wanted this to be a longer clip, since this one is only 18 seconds. If I wanted that full thought to be included, I could drag this out quite a bit until I got to that, initial point and make it a longer clip. You can also do it this way. So we could drag it out longer this way. Okay, and once we are happy with this, we can download it as an MP4 or an MP3. We can also download the SRT and text files, which is pretty cool because this will give us captions for the video. If you're uploading to YouTube Shorts, for example, you can upload your SRT files so there are captions on screen when turned on for accessibility. And forgot to mention this, but another cool thing about Chopcast is that if you just click on your full project, so this entire video that I uploaded, and you click on export just on this main screen here, this is how you can actually get your full SRT or TXT files for the entire video. So captions are super important to have if you're uploading YouTube content. This is also true even for like LinkedIn. If you're uploading a video directly to LinkedIn, you can upload your caption files and it will make sure that the captions are, on par to what you're looking for. So you can download your full SRT using this tool as well to make sure that your captions show up correctly on YouTube. And if you need to edit them beforehand, you can just click on edit. And this is where you will be able to get the entire video. You can edit all of those captions if you need to, or you can even just like caption the full video, add text to the full video, whatever you want to do. There is a little bit of just general video editing that you can do within this tool as well. So these are things that you can do, but we'll just download and I'll roll it and show you what it looks like as a finished product. I think there is a difference between being a content creator, being a full-time content creator for a living, and being a business owner who creates content. I think the business owner who creates content can lean a little more into data and analytics and, come at it from a very particular point of view. But if you want to be an influencer or, somebody who does this for a job, it's going to catch up with you at some point if your heart is not in it. And there are different account types for pretty much all of the tools that we're talking about today. But for Chopcast, the 180-minute plan is more than good enough for me. I upload, 8 videos a month, give or take a little bit. So that is generally more than enough for me, but just keep an eye on it. If you have a very long podcast or an interview podcast, you might want to look at one of their higher tiers. And on the flip side, if you only upload like once or twice a month, then you can probably get by on a lower tier. Lastly, let's talk about planning out your content. Maybe we should have started here, but sometimes you just get excited, you film a bunch of content, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I need to editorialize this and get my brain together. StoryPress is a really cool way to do that. So you can have basically your boards, which I think a lot of us are familiar with if we've ever used any other type of kind of task management tool before. So you can place your ideas and then you can kind of move it down the pipeline. So cool, I had an idea for a video or a podcast in this situation. Now I'm sending it over to review, maybe from somebody else on the team, or maybe it's just for myself. I can pop in like a bunch of different ideas. Hey, I have a video idea. We're going to do like a video about Instagram close friends, or a podcast, I guess, because this is in the podcast category. So you can just pop those ideas in and just leave those as placeholders. This is what I do a lot. I'll be like, we'll do an interview with my lawyer. I don't know, just making stuff up. Okay. So we might place in ideas here. And then once we kind of start to flesh them out, move them to for review so we can really start to outline and make sense of them. So that's kind of like the most basic way to use this tool. But there are a lot of other cool features in here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to delete these so I don't get confused. Delete. StoryPress is really made to actually publish, not just to task manage, which is amazing. So we'll click on this one. So this is the podcast that I posted last week. What you can do is basically create a little blog post around your video or whatever it is that you have to do. First of all, the embed, you can just click on these little plus signs, scroll down to find whatever you want to embed from, whether it's Twitter post or account, an Instagram post, or a YouTube video like I did. Super easy to do it that way. And it just pops up. And then what I've done is I just simply pasted in the transcript of my video. Now, I want to turn this into a newsletter slash blog post that people can read and then, listen to the podcast too at the same time. So something I love about StoryPress is that you can connect to Grammarly. So if you use Grammarly, I do, you can simply connect your account and it integrates right within this tool. So as you can see now, I have a bunch of red lines and it's giving me a bunch of grammar suggestions that I can go in and accept. Now, of course, I would want to read through this and really editorialize it. I don't want to just paste in a transcript, but this is a really great starting point of having all of the grammar corrections. Let's just pretend that we are happy with it though, and then we can edit the article design. So they have all of these different layouts that we could then share this article in. So it makes it like a blog without you having to do all of the work of actually creating a blog. So I really like this one, I think is my favorite. And you can also preview it for mobile, which is incredibly important because we all know that most people are getting on the internet, on their phones nowadays. So let's just say we're happy with this design. We've got a live preview that looks beautiful. Now, what are we going to do with this, right? Well, there's a few different things you can do. You can, of course, schedule this for when you want it to go out. So we could choose we want this to go out tomorrow or whatever if we wanted to. But there's also an option to make this a subscribers only article. So you can import your email list as a CSV if you want to into StoryPress and send out your newsletters this way. So I'm not having to get into a third party email tool. I can instead email this out in a really beautiful way to my subscribers. So we're just going to toggle members only just so you can kind of see what this looks like. And then we're just going to publish it right now. So as you can see, you have this kind of website without even needing a website. So if you want to write blogs, if you want to write newsletters, but you don't want to go through the trouble of setting up a whole system, StoryPress really does it for you and you get this beautiful, beautiful thing. You can also customize this menu here, of course. So we have our different publications. So we have the podcast, which this one falls under, but we could also do like maybe notes from the editor or kind of a, behind the desk or on the editor's desk or something like that. We could have these different categories of newsletters that people could choose to sign up for or read. And as you can see, they get a little teaser to the article. So we are getting our first couple of paragraphs here, but then it's asking you to sign up if you want to read the rest of the article. So very cool stuff here. Really easy for anyone to be able to publish without needing to build a whole website. And this is really where that menu came from. It's the desks feature. So I have a tutorial in here since I'm still learning all the different features that are available in StoryPress. So this is something that everybody gets when they first sign up. But eventually I will want to delete this once I am good. So to do that, I can just click on desk settings, tutorial, and I can delete that desk. And that way it won't show up in my menu. And then I also have a newsletters desk where I am starting to plan out my different newsletters that I will be posting week over week and can eventually have those live and archived for an audience. This is another really cool feature of StoryPress is I publish 2 newsletters a week and they're just kind of gone. Once they're out, they're just gone. So having them now available for people to search through and reference back to really extends the life of that work. And of course, within your settings, you can do a bunch of editing to how your publication is actually going to look once it's up and live. One of the other features that is just really cool, I have yet to set this part up, but I absolutely will be. You can add a custom domain. So if I want my newsletters to be coming from latashajames.com, I can go ahead and add in my DNS settings to the back end of my website, and it will enable me to connect that domain so that I am not just using the .storypress domain. I can actually have it come from latashajames.com and really integrate it within my site. All right, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you plan to try any of these tools in the comments, or if there's any other tools that you find on AppSumo that you are excited about. Be sure to check them out in the description box, and I will talk to you soon for a new video. Bye.